Alright, Dynamite Delight. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I might start coughing on and off. My throat's been bothering me lately due to my allergy problems. You have no idea how bad my eyes have been itching for days. Ugh. So I'm going to see if I can make this shorter than normal, if I can, because I talk too damn much. But let's put this in perspective. You see the title. This is better booking this time. I'm not going to tell you that this booking is great. It's not. It's better, but it's not great. I don't know about anyone else. I don't know what everybody else is going to say, but I will acknowledge that this is better booking than what you normally get from AEW, because lately their booking hasn't been that great. Let's make it clear. It has not been great booking. Opening of the show, MJF and Sammy Guevara with a little bit of Will in it. Little Will Ospreay. Just a tiny, little bit of Will Ospreay. Just a little bit. What did I feel about this segment when MJF was about to talk? Sammy Guevara comes out. They're both New York boys. I'm not trying to be favoritism here. I'm not. But you got one from Buffalo. You got one from Long Island. And I'm the one from Manhattan to New York. Got three boys here. And the key of this situation is, what did they want to do for the Buffalo crowd? Did one of them want to badmouth the other one? Did both of them want to kiss each other's asses? What did we really get? We got the latter, kissing each other's asses a little bit. Let's make it very clear. When it comes to Daniel Garcia, I like Danny. I do. I do like him. But I'm not going to lie that the booking for Danny Garcia has been very skewed. Not saying it's a bad skew. It's been pretty decent. That he's been going up against small guys as well as big guys. There's some that only go up against big guys and whoop their asses, and it looks so unrealistic. At least I would say with Sammy Garcia, not Sammy. I'm thinking about Sammy Guevara and how... Let me explain it, and I'll explain about Sammy Guevara in a moment. When you look at Daniel Garcia, they have booked him decently well to go up against small ones and big ones. Big guys and small guys. Admittedly, a little bit too much of the big guys, because they've been jobbing themselves out a lot to him. Except for Brody King, who barely jobbed that much to him, which I will say that was good booking. But for others, like KM, I believe it was KM, yeah, the one who was in TNA at one point, and Colorado, what was the guy's name? Colorado. He went up against him and whooped his ass too, I believe. I don't like that. Look, I want Danny Garcia to be over, but not at the expense of too many big guys. So he has been booked mostly good. So seeing that he got inspiration to a certain extent, and that loss he got from MJF really put a fire under him, I can't believe that they did give a little bit of stock in him. And I can see that. And when he said he doesn't want to just be the pillar, he wants to be the backbone, makes me think of pretty much... Well, let's make it clear. He's still suspended. Sammy Guevara, not Garcia. I'm getting Garcia and Guevara mixed up. But Guevara is still suspended. What happened with Jeff Hardy, at least is from what I can tell, he's still suspended for what he did. That he went and broke his nose after he was told it's done, you're finished. And he went and still did it. So seeing that they made transition away from Sammy Guevara to Daniel Garcia, I'm not too much having a problem with it. Because Danny has been very well built for many years now. He's been steadily going through the roster. He's done pretty damn well. I still don't agree with him taking on big guys too much and winning easily. But he has been built well. And when the conversation was done about talking about when he had the shot against MJF and he lost and it was humiliating and his mom was in the arena and he was talking about her, he said he wanted to thank him for giving him that shot and putting a fire under him. And MJF is MJF. He made it very clear that MJF is going to be a little two-faced, like Sammy said, you better not do this shit and talk shit to my crowd because they'll eat your ass. And he said, I'm not two-faced much. But he said there's a lot of jealousy in the back, which, let's be honest, it could be. Not saying that everyone is kumbaya in pro wrestling. There's always somebody wants someone's spot. And there are others who legitimately just want to work with you and really make something. So MJF wasn't lying about that. We do know this. But he made it very clear he put over Sammy, not Sammy, I'm saying Danny. I don't know why I miss Sammy. Maybe it's because of Ty. I think I'm wondering what Ty is doing right now, since she's a mama. But let's put this in perspective. What did this really lead to before Will Ospreay came out? Excuse me. A match at All In. Daniel Garcia. MJF. Just a match. Not saying there's going to be a title attached to it because he doesn't have one right now, MJF. But he says, me and you at All In, Wembley Stadium. And before he gets that shot to even hear him say, I'm in. Nope. We get Will coming out, showing respect to my peoples and to Danny, and pretty much says, bruv, you've earned your shot against me. I can't wait until Beach Break next week, and we're going to have our moment. And then we get literally one person looking at the other like, I upstaged you, bitch. And the other one saying, motherfucker, I'm going to eat your ass alive when I get you in the fucking ring and show how good I damn am. MJF, Will Ospreay. People can see that they're building up into this, which is not bad. They're not having them directly talk to each other, which is good. That's actually very good booking. I don't know about everybody else, but I do believe that this is wise booking, that you keep inserting a Will Ospreay into an MJF segment. Sooner or later, you're going to have an MJF inserted into a Will Ospreay segment. It will happen, and it should happen. They should go there. Eventually, they'll start talking, which I'm waiting for, which is fine. Let them drag it out. Because right now, Will has to deal with Forbidden Door. MJF is not doing anything yet. Wait until Forbidden Door is over, and then you can start really slowly building them both together, so when Wembley comes out, you'll be ready. So I'm cool with that. Now, first match, which I was very upset about. As usual, AEW does not give us any type of meaning or feeling behind these matches that come from either New Japan Pro Wrestling or CMLL. Because what did we get? The LIJ, I can't even pronounce, Los Idos Japanio. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. I don't speak Spanish, so I mispronounced what was there. They're called LIJ. Now, I believe they're from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And we get this match, which means absolutely nothing. And if anybody says, dude, the only thing I have to do is watch X, Twitter X, and it was advertised there, means nothing. Nothing. Not everyone's going to look at X. Not everyone's going to look at Instagram. Not everyone does that. They rather see it on the damn show advertised. Because remember, one of the reasons you want people to look at your show was because you want people to feel like something special is about to happen. They don't want to just look at social media every single time. They want to see what's going to be here more than just what's being advertised on the net. Even though the majority of people do the net, sometimes it means more on a show than it does on the net. Because it feels very disconnected. If you don't know what I'm meaning, I'll make this quick because my throat's itchy. One of the problems, if you never thought about this, if you look at 30 years ago, in the 90s, compared to here, cell phones, early smartphones, dumb phones actually, one of the things they did a lot of was you had to talk. They had texting, but it was very difficult to do it on a small pad with numbers on it. And most of the time they would use a pager. If you don't know what those are, look them up. But here's the thing. It was still personable because you still had to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Even with texting and email, sooner or later, you must talk to that person because it becomes impersonal. No one cares about it. No one has a feeling towards it. Now, 80% of what's going on in the world is texting, is email. And a lot of that interrelations is gone. A lot of people don't understand that it's better to talk to someone over a phone or in a vid chat. It's more personal. You can actually see the person and you're not going to get any emojis. You're not going to get any attitude until you really feel it. And that's what people like to still see. It's one of the reasons why, unfortunately, TKO WWE is doing so well. Yes, they still use social media, but they make it very clear that if it's important, it will be on the show at the same time as on social media, or on the show first. Then they do it on social media because they want engagement on their show more than they want engagement on the internet, because people have a tendency to look. This is a problem that we have with AEW. They're doing more on social media than they are here. So the guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling, I believe, 100% feel impersonal. They don't matter. And then supposedly, we're having a match with Bryan Danielson. And the key here is that his opponent was in the match, and I didn't even realize it. And I didn't even care. Because they haven't even shown vignettes of the guy. They haven't really allowed him to talk much. He's just doing a random match with the Blackpool Combat Club. Why do I care? And then the wrestler that Moxley's about to go up against, the last couple of shows I watched, I haven't really seen him show anything. Not much. We're going to have this again, where he's going to be facing a guy from New Japan Pro Wrestling for his title, but then I don't feel nothing of him. There's very little vignettes. The guy has not spoken. It doesn't matter if he speaks Japanese or not. As long as you got subtitles, we'll understand the shit. But I don't feel anything. Putting it on social media means nothing. And if anybody says, dude, why are you watching this? You're not a real fan. I've been a fan since the freaking beginning of this company. Do not tell me I'm not a real fan. I'm telling you, one of the reasons why the ratings for the show are from when it used to be near 1 million, they dropped it here. It's not because the WWE has gotten so more over and they're paying people to watch. Remember, there was rumors years ago that WWE was paying people to come into the arenas because the arenas were almost completely empty. Because they were going maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people, 4,000. And there was a lot of things that they were saying they were giving out tickets or they were paying people to come in. So WWE is not paying anybody. They're doing it better. Look, you can say a lot about TNA. I'm still talking about TNA, wondering if they're going to gain anything the way that they're acting. But when you see it, you got way more interest with TNA with WWE. TKO WWE, if you're going to be honest. You got more because they're showing it on the show. They're giving you reasons to care. And they make them feel like something important. The commentary team will talk about it maybe a week or two ahead of time. They will do it. Now, I'm not saying to do it perfectly because Frankie Kazarian was barely even talked about, but it was about Joe Henry. But still, they did it. And they have more people caring about it. Here, they don't. They just throw them into the ring, make them wrestle. Pretty much, Blackpool Combat Club won when, well, not really. They didn't really win. There was actually just, I think, a stoppage because of the chair shot to pretty much Willa Yuta, if I remember correctly. And they didn't finish the match. But if you look at the matches with CMLL, nothing. They've been losing constantly. Yes, we got, well, I don't remember the guy's name, Hell Canarico. I believe that's his name. I can't remember. And he will be dealing with, who is he going up against? MJF, I believe. At least they're advertising him more probably because it's MJF. MJF is talking about him. And then they showed a little footage, and he's actually wrestled there. And I'm like, dude, what is the problem here? Now, let's move on. The next match, Jay White versus Rey Fenix for, I believe this is a quarterfinal match for the Owen Hart Cup. I'm going to be honest here. Who deserved to go for the Owen Hart Cup? Is it Jay White or is it Rey Fenix? It's easy to say it's Jay White because he is one of the trio's champions. Or you could say Rey Fenix because he's still very popular. But if you're going to be honest about it, why either one of them? Why? I'd rather see someone entirely different. Shane Taylor could have been someone you could start building up to mean something. No. You could have Lee Moriarty, who's been shown a lot on Collision and a lot on Dynamite on and off. Well, mostly. But mainly on Collision. No. You're still using the same people. Well, one, And Rey Fenix, he just came back, but he's not really over as much as he used to be. Not saying he's not popular. It's just that he's not over in the sense of having a feud, because the only one that's really doing anything when it comes to Death Triangle is Pac. Because look at Penta. Penta's doing nothing. And then you look at Jay White. And you could say, well, Jay White's in one of the stronger factions, which is Bang Bang Gang, yes. But do you really care about seeing Jay White in this position, where I want to see someone entirely different? Like I said, a Shane Taylor, a Lee Moriarty. You could say easily, well, Darby's not there because I don't think he's recovered enough yet. He's gone. But you got other people there that, yes, Jay White is popular. Jay White is presented. But if you want to make sure there's more people on the roster that we can look at, they're not doing it. This is what you got. Jay White won, not surprised, because he is more involved in the faction. But still, I'm just saying. See? Sneezing. My allergies. Sneezing, my allergies. This sucks. Let's see about the next match. Trios title. Well, not Trios title. I'm hoping they don't have a women's Trios title. I think that's the reason why I'm thinking, because they're having women do tags more. They're having women do trios. I'm hoping there's no Trios title for the women. I don't want it. We got Mia Shirakawa. We got My Taste Toni Storm. And we got Mariah May. Then we got, oh my goodness. I got to say something about this after I talk about this match. Saraya, Cameron, and Anna Jay. I'm not going to say Harley Cameron isn't cute. She's damn pretty. Let's make this clear. The one who had the pin was Mia Shirakawa. The one who took the pin was a Harley Cameron. The other two didn't need to do anything. And they're still putting the story, which is a good story, between Mia, between Tony, and between Mariah. And seeing they had a little bit of the bubbly, as a Chris Jericho would say. And then you got the head cracked from Mia Shirakawa, who's trying to hit a Taste of Toni Storm, and hits Mariah May, will make the story at Forbidden Door even more important. Because what it comes down to is, who's Mariah May going to be with? Will it be with Mia, or will it be Toni Storm? Due to the fact now that she got laid out by a bottle of the bubbly. But here's the problem for me. What happened to Saraya? What is going on? I'm like, I'm going to tell you this. We did get the vid pack for Mercedes Moné and her opponent. No problem. It looked good. But what's happened to the women's division where Saraya is literally in another faction? She now has signed on not just, I'm not saying Harley Cameron doesn't need to work with Saraya. She does. And I'm not saying Anna Jay being with them won't be bad either. It won't be good, but it won't be bad. We don't know yet. It's just started. But Saraya should be something more substantial, because I say this again, if they're not talking about it, I'm going to. Eventually, what needs to happen is one storyline that will mean the most to anybody who knows who the former Paige and the former Sasha Banks. They know that's got to happen eventually. Now, I'm not saying it for now, but it would be nice that they show a scene where Mercedes meets Saraya in the back. They don't have to do a heavy amount of talking. They can be friendly. But I really would like to see them have something. Something. Because sooner or later, they must bring these two together. They must have Saraya eventually versus a Mercedes Moné. Eventually. Because we know for a fact, as I say again, we know for a fact that the last match she had was an attack match with Saraya, who nailed it in between the shoulder blades. And that is when they said, no more, you're done. That could be made into a real story. Because legitimately, it is a real story. It's not like Mercedes wanted to hurt Saraya. She didn't. But Saraya was basically done at that time with her neck. Her neck was just done. She needed surgery. She got it. And she needed time to recover, which she did. And now she's back. But I would like to at least see them build into it. It doesn't have to be enemies. They could be friends. At least Let us see it. But that's just me. Okay. Zack Sabre Jr. versus a Kyle O'Reilly. Now, let me tell you something about Kyle. Seeing him work with a Mark Briscoe, seeing that he basically imitated him was funny. I liked it. Because at least it's showing that he does have range, that he can take something from somebody and try and make it his own. I think that's at least the first step for him, to show more character. The match itself was good. Yes, we had the Undisputed Kingdom there. We did have one guy who is from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Don't recognize him. And then we had members of TMDK there as well once the match was over and Zack won, because this is still about Zack and Orange Cassidy. And then when it seems that the Undisputed Kingdom was trying to get Kyle to come back, Orange was facing Zack, and then DMTK came out. Orange was all by himself. He had one more person, Imo Ishii. The Pitbull, the Stone Pitbull, that's one of the people from New Japan I do like. He shows up. Cool. Okay. But then, not cool. Because, what does this mean? We didn't even know he was even there. Is he a member of the AEW roster? As far as I know, he's not. He's just with the group of people who came from New Japan. But here's the problem. They need to make it mean something. They need to have more with him. And we didn't get that. We didn't have none of that. It felt very blank. And the final match. And I'm going to go through the stuff in the back in a minute. But the final match, Gates of Agony versus Swerve and Will. I'm just going to talk about the match was good. Will got the pin. I'll leave it at that, but I'll talk about how it was afterward in a minute. Let's go through the rest of what we had in the back. And what we have segments. Excuse me. Let's make this clear. Was the Okada with the Bucks interesting with the I don't know how to feel about this with the Acclaim dealing with the Bucks and Okada. Because it's important to see it. And it was interesting to see them trying to build up into it. But then when supposedly Brian Keith's arm is jacked, he can't wrestle, and they're trying to get what do I really think about Suzuki? Who was going to be supposedly that next person that was going to be able to help because of Brian Keith being hurt. Here's the problem. If they're going to do this, I kind of wish this was done 2 weeks ago. That they had this segment, Brian Keith got hurt 2 weeks ago, and then they can build into it, because this is such short notice. Within a few days of Forbidden Door, you're going to have Suzuki, who was supposed to be taking the place of Brian Keith. No, he's not helping, and he wants the FTW title for himself. Feels like it was last minute rushed. Last minute they said, what are we going to do here? Brian might actually be hurt. And I'm not saying he is, but he might be actually hurt. We need to get a replacement. Let's just get Suzuki. But then let's not do it the way it's supposed to. Suzuki doesn't have to actually wrestle in a trios match. Let's make it about, hey, let him go after the FTW title during Forbidden Door. And I'm like, this feels rushed. If Brian Keith is hurt, I can understand it's rushed for that. But if he's not really hurt, and Suzuki could have been set up weeks ahead of time, this is a fail for me personally. Not because I hate Suzuki going against Chris Jericho to go after the title. It's just that it feels like it could have been built better. Just saying. Let's see here. The last thing I think I'll talk about is the closing of the show. Let me give it to you like this, guys. When you look at Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, there's no problem with the feud. I think it's a good feud, but I do believe it's rushed. I'll say it again. This still feels rushed. I'm not saying it's not bad booking. I just mean that this is being rushed out so quickly that if you're going to have Will Ospreay go up against Swerve Strickland, he doesn't need the damn title. It's just champion facing a champion without a title just to have something special on the show. Having a Swerve Strickland Will Ospreay match for a title does not feel right. It feels like this should be saved for another time. And I feel like they just rushed it because they wanted to get a special match out. Now, I'm saying this honestly. Was the booking of the show better? Yes, it was better booking. I felt like they did put some more effort into the booking of this show. But is all of it good? No. But I will not take anything away that today was better booking. In fact, they went 8 minutes overrun for the Will Ospreay and Swerve match with the Gates of Agony. Well, there was no... What happened to Brian Cage? But the Gates of Agony and them, they had 8 minutes over. It was good to see them go 8 minutes overrun. And the ending when Will grabbed the title and then got his clock cleaned by Swerve, which is understandable, he needed to do it, was good to see. That's not bad booking. It's actually better booking what I've seen AEW do in several months. Well, not several months, maybe 4 months easily. 4.5 to 5 months. That was pretty good. But still, I'm not going to tell you that this was a bad show. It was not. It was better booked. But they still got a long way to go to make things better. Because honestly, where are the rest of the women? Why still, we only get maybe one woman that is Japanese that they can actually build a story around. You got, how many women you actually have that are Japanese can actually talk? Emery Sakura can speak English. I'm not even going to go for all of them. I have to go for Hiro Kushida. I don't know about when it comes to Rio. I don't know if she can talk very well. And Mia Sumasaki, what is her name? Mia Shirakawa. Sorry. She also speaks English. You got 3 Japanese women that can speak decent English, and you do nothing with them except maybe once in a while, maybe one of them. You can't book all 3 of them. They don't have to be in major feuds. At least they would be in minor ones that could be interesting. But it's just me. Peace.